list. Do you have something today in mind that you wanted to talk about?
Nothing in particular. I'm open to whatever from the list I sent you. You're welcome to dig in with all the things. I feel like I've lived multiple lives.
What are those? So is that list from?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because for a second I was like, but wait, none of this. Like, I think not even half of them were laser related.
No, I know, right? That's in the background. That's always there. That's like riding a bike for me. I've been lasering for 18 years.
Holy moly! Okay,
Yeah.
so that's your second son too. That's your other kid.
It is. Well, the business itself is it's my another child for sure. It's a lot of responsibility and I've worked for multiple different business owners and I used to
Mm.
always wonder cuz from the laser perspective that's really easy. I used to always wonder why they were all always stressed out. Now I know. I have my no, Star, get down. The cat is like blocking my light. Okay.
Yeah, I have a dog pawing me for treats. Like I have no treats here, dude.
We got to calm down.
What would you like to share about yourself?
Yeah, I'm trying to be more proactive and put myself out there and talk a little bit more because I do feel like I've been through a lot and I want to be able to just share whatever for whoever. With my laser business, I'm interacting with people all day, every day, and I am constantly planting seeds and sharing tidbits as I go. I mean, but that's like a little bit more intimate and private. I've been called to bigger things and my one of my mentors keeps saying, "Hannah, you need to get out there and speak. You need to get out there and speak." And I'm just like so I'm like, okay, I just need to do it. It's fine. And I love your background. I mean, I don't have a degree and all the things that you have, but I'm a big believer in self pleasure and being open about your sexuality and sexual health and wellness. And so that's something that I kind of share lightly with clients because at laser hair removal, I'm seeing naked people all day, right? I see a ton of vaginas, 10 plus a day sometimes. Obviously, you have to be soft and gentle because it's a very vulnerable time for people to be that way. But if I can share something or encourage or flatter, I had a client yesterday come in and I think she said she was like 60 and she has these cute little tiny perky boobs. And I am not into women, like it's not like that for me. But I've realized that we don't get enough validation and compliments, and I'm trying to be better about women and making sure I encourage them. So I was like, girl, you've got the cutest little perkiest boobies. These 60-year-old things. And then we were talking about how we didn't appreciate our bodies when we were younger. And it's interesting how we've changed and appreciated our bodies in a different way now. I know, right? They're like, something's happening. Let's get involved.
I actually just recently shared like a meme from Cheat Street. I think it's Creek, the mom sharing like take naked pictures because when you're older, you will realize how beautiful you are.
So true, absolutely. I have several boudoir shoots that I've done in the different like seasons of my life. I really need to update and have some recent ones because the last set I did when I was a lot thinner, and now my body's changed and I am enjoying my body as it is now. As much as I want to be thinner, I don't want to lose my voluptuousness and my curves. So it's like I can't really get too thin because I'll lose all that, you know? It's really just interesting as we hit each decade, the way we perceive life and people and our bodies, it changes so much. I'm sure I'll feel differently at 50, you know, but yeah, it's very fascinating.
Can you share what's that emotional experience when you see these pictures across the decades?
Well, each set comes with different emotions. One of the set of shoots I did when I was separated from my former husband. And so when I see that, that just brings like all the emotions attached to the marriage because I felt like that was one of the things I did as a help towards saving the marriage. So it brings up those emotions, the sadness, the regret, the guilt, you know, all of that. The other one was a lot more empowering. So that's just like an empowered, like, yes, this is the way my body looked at this time in my life. You know, that's why I want to do another one, I think, because I feel differently about myself than I did then. I want to recreate that and in this moment, the way I feel to be captured so that, 10 years from now, I can look back and be like, yeah, that was my fuck yes, Hannah moment.
You want to capture there? What will be the feeling you want to put in the bottle?
The empowerment I feel, the love that I feel for myself, the pleasure that I feel for myself, the joy, the happiness, the peace. Yes, I really would love to capture all of those. I mean, it's almost like an accomplishment. It's taken this time to get, I've been divorced 9 years now, I think. And so to get to this point in life, I mean, it's taken years to get past the grief and the loss, but then to become myself again and then to lose myself again and then to gain a new me. Like I said, I've lived multiple lives since I was divorced, and as much as, I mean, I don't really want to be that story anymore, the divorce story.
Mhm.
I want to be the empowered Hannah story and how far I've come. One of my mentors like, Hannah, you need to food stamps to fabulous. In 2020, I was 4 or 5 years divorced at that time. I was working 4 jobs, I think, in the end of
Mhm.
2019. And I decided in the beginning of 20, which was really good for me because I ended up not working for like at least 4 to 6 weeks and I couldn't get paid because I was 1099. I couldn't collect unemployment in the time that we were closed. I went on food stamps at the beginning of the year because I was like, you know what? Everybody else does it. I've been paying into the system. I was like, I don't know what my life is going to look like and where things are going. I really want to make sure that my son and I have something. Then I found out when I submitted the application that my former husband actually had my son on food stamps. I didn't realize that you cannot collect for the same child, even if they're in separate homes. He had collected for him. I had no idea. All I could do was collect for me. But that money helped me buy food during COVID when we were closed,
Mhm.
and make sure I could eat. I mean, my parents would help me if I mean, they've always helped me and supported me in the time, my darkest times when I really needed money. I was getting to the point where I didn't want to have to ask them or rely on them for that. 2020 was really an epic year for me because I went from being on food stamps. I literally, like, the bar that I was working at as my part-time thing closed because of 20, so I didn't have that income. I just did laser. That was super part-time because I was doing real estate. That was like what I was doing. I actually had the best year in real estate that year, but that launched me into being able to start my own business at the end of 2020. I started Tampa Bay Laser technically January of 21, but I had like started the process of it in October of 20. It's really interesting how the beginning of that year was, by the end of the year, I'm starting a business, and then it just completely changed and escalated after that. My mentor is always like, Hannah, food stamps are fabulous. You need to talk about it. I went from making, $30,000 a year. I mean, that year was a better year towards the end, but I have a six-figure business now. It's definitely altered and changed my life a lot.
I know that always there's no one thing that we can say, this is what made me successful. You had a whole life that prepared you to meet the needs of that moment. But if you had to hear the wisdom of this is how I went from full time to fabulous, what worked really well in making that business such a success?
I would definitely say 99% of it is mindset and uh, relaxing into just being and knowing that everything always works out for you. I was doing really, really deep meditation work, and I mean, I have been going through a healing. It's like an onion, right? You're constantly peeling away layers that you didn't even know existed in there. I've definitely been peeling away the layers for several years, but healing yourself and becoming self-aware was one of the major things. I mean, I was doing like a lot of meditation, and I'm an overthinker, so I would always get caught up in my mind. Releasing ego and just letting things be have been a huge thing that has helped me. Honestly, having multiple mentors, I've had spiritual mentors, just like guiding light mentors that that you wouldn't have expected. Business mentors, coaches, those people have literally just fallen into my world and have shifted the way I've thought about things and my perspective, and have just like slowly guided me on my journey. That has been monumental for me too. When I first got divorced, for some reason, I had an issue with homeless people. I felt like they were entitled and I didn't understand why they were on the streets, and I didn't feel like I should serve them. But I felt deeply called by God to go and volunteer at a soup kitchen. So here I am, a single mom. I'm Ubering at night, and then I work a full-time job during the day, and I decided that I needed to go volunteer at a soup kitchen. So he's telling me, if you need to come here at 4 or 5 a.m. and volunteer in the morning because we serve a full course meal at 8 in the morning. I started doing that, and my perspective on homelessness completely shifted. The director of the kitchen became one of my mentors. He was the one that encouraged me to get my real estate license and felt that I needed to do that, which I didn't think it was possible for me. It's really just kind of following the callings that are like calling to you, even if it's the slightest blip. Who would have thought a soup kitchen would have led me into a career? Having this person that was a very successful man also guide me on my life journey for the next several years. It's really interesting how important it is to really listen and to really follow what that little small thing is, even if it's a turn right at this light instead of left, even though your ego is saying no, we need to go left, but you hear something that says you need to go this way instead. It's just that slight little calling that is really important to listen to and to follow.
Switching gears to the laser thing, because my brain won't stop screaming until I ask, why do people do it? I think there's a side of practicality that I can get by with, but I don't know how I feel about it. What is your take on it?
I personally don't like hair down there. 19 or 20 years ago, I decided to go and get laser hair removal for myself because I was getting waxed and I was over it. I didn't want to get waxed anymore. So one of my hairstylists was like, Hannah, there's this really great place. You should go check her out to get laser because waxing is painful. Have you been waxed before?
No, I was actually thinking about it. It's the only thing I really wanted to ask. Why? But I have also not waxed. I don't know why will people go to that pain. I will not be prepared to say goodbye to the hair.
I was getting waxed for a couple years, and I loved being bare down there. That like made me feel good, made me feel happy, and made me feel confident. For myself, it had nothing to do with anyone else. It was a completely me thing. Then getting laser was just like the next thing so that I wouldn't have to ultimately forever worry about it. Honestly, if you shave a lot and you don't really like hair, and I'm not talking like just down there. I mean, I'm talking your legs, your underarms, nipple hairs around our areolas, toe hair. It's just a thing that people do not feel confident in having, and they just want to have it gone so they don't have to worry about it. My sister has twin boys. They're 3 now. I was doing her bikini line and her underarms so she doesn't have to worry about it. And then one day she's like, Hannah, can we start working on my lower legs? Because I really don't want to have to spend the time. She was like, I literally don't have the time to shave them very often. And we started working on her lower legs. Now she just shaves when she sees me once every 2 months. I've been completely bushless for 19 years now. So I don't have to worry about buying razors frequently and spending the money on that. I don't have to think about shaving before I go to the beach or put on a bathing suit. It's just taken care of. I remember when I first started getting it done and I was like, is this really bougie of me? Like, I feel like going through the maintenance of having to laser feels like, okay, this is a process, this is a lot. But then long term, you will be so grateful because it's just something you don't ever worry about. Like, I shave my peach fuzz on my legs because I can't laser blonde stuff. When it grows, probably once every 3 months, I would have to shave my legs because I don't want the peach fuzz there. It's more just comfort, ease, and confidence. I have women, though, that come in and they have full beards or they have chin hairs. And I'm not talking one. I'm talking like, everywhere. That's 50% of my clients that come in have facial hair of some sort. Then we end up moving to another body part once they discover how nice it is to not have the hair on their face anymore. That's really why people do it and why I did it. It's just such a wonderful thing to not think about shaving anymore and spending the time in the shower doing all of that. I never really liked hair in the first place, the dark hair, because I'm so fair. It was really obvious. I couldn't go without shaving for a very long time. And the prickiness, the pokiness,
Oh
when you
yeah,
put
that's
on
awesome.
pants, it's like, ooh, it like rubs your hairs weird. It was just now. All of that completely stops. The razor bump, the ingrown hairs, all of the redness and inflammation that comes with shaving, all of that goes away. There's so many factors.
So the laser removal doesn't hurt?
It does. It's definitely not pain-free, but it does hurt less than waxing. I move pretty quickly when I'm doing it. There's certain spots that are a little bit on the spicier side, but for the most part, it's done and over, and then the pain is gone. It's not a lingering pain. To zap an underarm takes less than a minute to do. Okay, this is a minute of my life, and then it'll be over. But it's not so bad. I mean, if you've had a child or a tattoo, I had gallstones one year. If you've had any of that, laser is easy peasy, comparatively speaking.
Okay. What happens if you regret it? Like, do you just wait long enough and it comes back?
Generally, it's a permanent forever thing with the lasers that I have. I honestly have never had anyone come to me and say they regretted. Most people have regretted not doing more. They started with one area, they're coming for their bikini line, and then they're like, I really wish I did everything else. Ultimately, we'll switch over to everything else. The other thing to think about with that too is the hair actually starts to turn white down there when we get older.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about that. I was in my 20s when I was doing this, so I'm not thinking about my bush hair turning white. But we can't laser the hair once it's white. If you don't like it and want it, it's definitely better to think about it while it's dark, because then it's going to be there and you can't get rid of it when it's white. I mean, electrolysis, but
Why can you not do it when it's white?
the laser is attracted to darkness, pigment. So the darker a hair is, the more attracted it is to it to be able to destroy it. But the white hairs we can only get rid of with electrolysis. It's one hair at a time. It's extremely time consuming and way more painful than laser.
Okay. Does that mean that sometimes you may see people who maybe they're transitioning how they present and maybe they don't want facial hair anymore? Maybe they're transitioning from male to female or they're non-binary?
I do, absolutely, yes. I definitely get a lot of trans that come in and they are transitioning from whichever. So yes, I do hair restoration also, but the majority of the time everybody wants, especially the face hair removed. I'm definitely doing that very often, yes.
Is there hair restoration? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to make sure I don't miss that.
I can help with like thinning and balding hair too. I have another laser that helps hair grow.
Nice. Can you talk more about that? I think my husband will be interested in that. He's been using like some sort of cream. I don't understand it. I'm not sure if it's because, I have wondered what would it be like to have a penis. I would love to
I
one
know,
day, just
right?
for one
Me
day.
too.
I don't know if you have seen. There's like it's called Mindy. I think it's called Mindy Project, a TV show, and she wakes up one day with one, and she gets to live a life at her work as being a white male. Her character, she's Indian. She's a gynecologist, but she wakes up and she's a white. She's a gynecologist, but she's a white male.
Oh my God. I need to watch that episode.
But I think that was the end of the series when they were like, "Whoa, we're running out of ideas." I would love that. Like, I would love to know what it feels like. But I don't
Absolutely.
understand I want to have a beard. I still don't get it. I think men with beard only recently were added to like my, okay, yeah, I find it attractive list. But my dad has always kept a beard too. So I don't know if that's part of what to me is like, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there are people who go to you for that, or maybe that they don't even know that. I have never heard that was a thing.
Yeah,
Can you
I
talk
do
a bit more
actually
about
have
that?
men that don't want their facial hair anymore because they've been shaving it forever. I have had men that have completely removed their beard too.
Mm.
To me, I always have the conversation with them. It's like a tattoo. It's a commitment. You're never going to get it back. You need to really put this into your lifestyle thought. And you 20 years from now, are you sure you don't want a beard? It's something to consider. Because I have young people that come in they're in their early 20s. Your brain isn't fully developed yet, and you want to try to remove your beard. I mean, this is a huge decision. At least I think it is. I think it's a part of your manhood. I have to have the conversation a few times with them because I want them to really hear it from my perspective too, that they understand that it's never going to be able to come back. You have to really be ready for that. But yeah, I mean, I'll even clean up like along the cheeks, under here. I'll get rid of all this neck hair so they can still have the beard, but it's clean. I have a male client that I've been working on, and he has the cleanest beard and hairline because I worked on his hairline, and he's like my model child for all of the men. He gets told all the time, "Man, how do you keep such a great beard?" And he was like, "It's my laser girl. She lasers it away." He doesn't ever have to shave. He just shaves and trims the actual hair that's there. But I take care of everything else. It's so clean looking and amazing. Yeah. I mean, I do inside the nose to clean up that. I have guys that have hair on the tip of their nose. I do the ear inside the little nubby. I get rid of all that hair too. It's hairs that we deal with that annoy us, but we don't think like, oh, there's another option for me. I don't have to have this thing. Especially when guys come in and they're talking about their back hair or something. I always encourage them to, hey, if you start getting ear hair, I can take care of that too. I can't imagine having ear hair to deal with all the time. Plucking my brows or whatever is annoying. I can't imagine trying to pluck my ear hairs too.
Yeah, it's a lot. I've always struggled. My hairs do grow so freaking fast. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, I just wish I could like an avatar. Just okay, this is the perfect length for me. Just stay there. I hate when, like you said, you shave, you feel so great, but then the next few 2-3 days, I'm already super prickly, and it's so uncomfortable.
So itchy, and then it's ridiculous. You're like trying to scratch yourself without no one noticing, and you're just like, it's just my hair though. But yes, the itchiness was the thing that really got it for me too. I didn't like being itchy. It's no bueno.
To me, itchy is more like painful. Like it
in the
kind
growing
of
back
hurts.
process. Well, and having sex, it's really uncomfortable
Yeah.
having sex when your hair is a certain length. Then you both have, like, if you both shave and that friction is happening, then your skin's all red and like upset. And then you have to wait. You can't until you heal to do it again. Wherever I can make things easier and less painful, I'm all about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I learned it the hard way. We were so excited to try out a few new toys, but then I didn't catch a hat shape like a few days before. So the experience was so awful, and I couldn't understand, like, why am I not enjoying this at all?
It's huge.
So
Yeah.
now I kind of wait until, okay, I need to be sure that these specific activities are going to be done, and then I shave, because if I do it, then that means that for another 2-3 weeks, that cannot happen.
Right. Which sucks. Like, who wants to have to plan your life around just shaving like that? That is just, it's so lame. I can't. This is why I'm here to help people take that out of consideration.
I was considering, okay, so I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. I like the little, like, I like petting. But then, okay, so what areas of my body would I want to do? Because I think that is part of why it bothers me. Like, if your house is a mess and you have to clean the whole house, that's overwhelming. But if it's just, I can just do the dishes.
Right. Yes.
Okay, I don't mind.
At a time. Absolutely.
So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe I'm friends, definitely. I don't want that there. But yeah, I think maybe I'll consider, maybe not yet. I feel like I'll let my brain develop a little bit more.
Right? Well, the thing is, you don't have to take all the hair. If your lip hair bothers you, we can laser the lip hair and then leave this hair and then take away your bikini line hair. It's flexible kind of according to whatever your need is. If you want to leave just all the center hair and take away your bikini line hair, we can do that. Everyone has kind of a different want and need. I mean, I would say at least 90% of people, they start with the bikini line and then they end up doing everything. There's very, very few people that leave like a little trail. Mostly older people. It's not younger people that do. And at least half of those people that leave the trail end up saying, why didn't I just take the whole thing away? I'm like, I don't know. You have to just think what would be the ease and comfort for you. It doesn't have to be everything. It can just be a little bit here and there.
I gotta say, I love your post about the Christmas, the ugly sweaters, because I never thought about that.
My social media person is actually my former sister-in-law. I mean, I still call her my sister-in-law because she's still my family. But she gets a little creative and crazy with my posts. I love it. I'm like, ooh, this is cute. She's so funny.
I want to go back because I'm curious. How does the hair regrowth thing? How does that work?
The hair restoration, it's a laser that actually helps activate the follicle to start growing again. We open up the follicles and then we take this really potent medical grade growth serum and then we dump it inside the follicle right after laser. The first 48 hours after you have this particular laser procedure is the most crucial time to fill the follicles with this serum. I actually have a client that was super, super skeptical. She had bald random spots like throughout her head. And I knew she was going to be a hard sale, but I am confident this is an amazing laser. I know it works really well, and the growth serum is phenomenal. She just came in for a touch-up yesterday, actually, and her hair is so much fuller and thicker. It's been a year and a half since we started the process. The recommendation is to get a touch-up once a year after you have your 6 sessions. And then there is a growth serum shampoo that's the same growth serum. Obviously, it's less concentrated than the serum itself that you use maybe once a week to wash your hair. It just helps continue to keep the hair growing and healthy. I'm so happy because her results are phenomenal. I mean, you could see, and I'm trying to tell her the first couple sessions, I'm like, you can see the little baby hairs growing. And then her hairstylist was telling her, what are these little things here growing? And she was like, well, I'm getting laser, so it should be helping them grow. But now that the hairs are starting to be longer, they're like this long now, it's very clear that all of this is new growth for her. It's a higher rated efficacy and success rate than PRP. So PRP is re-injecting your plasma-rich platelets. They take blood from you, they mix it in a mixer, and then they re-inject it in those areas, and that's supposed to encourage growth. It's extremely painful. This laser takes maybe 10 minutes to do in combination with the growth serum. It's way more successful than even just the PRP. If you're fully bald man, it's not going to help you. You're past the point of no return. But if you still have actively growing hairs in that area, you have to get on it and start encouraging the hairs to continue to grow.
So interesting, right? That you're serving people who want to remove it completely, and you're serving people who want to make it
So
fuller.
the reason why I started doing that, it wasn't for that reason, but if I have the laser, I'm going to use it too. I actually got that laser for intimate lightening. It helps people that have darker underarms and darker private areas that want to do a more permanent than anal bleaching type thing for their areas. That's why I got the laser actually. But it also does hair restoration. It does pigment removal. So any dark spots on your face, your chest, it can remove that. I mean, I do hands. It helps even your skin tone. It's basically like an IPL treatment, skin resurfacing treatment also. It helps with acne. It's a pretty broad laser that does a lot. I'm going to use it for all of the things that it will help people for. It's weird that I remove, but then I put back. But I'm going to use it for all the things. I want to be able to help as many people as I possibly can with this laser. So, yeah.
But that's the thing, right? There's no one way, one right way. Like, it's just like, what do you want?
Yeah. I'm here for it. If you want me to put hair back, I will put it. If you want me to take it away, I actually had a client that had plugs put in her hairline, across her hairline, and she wanted her hairline further down than it was. She felt like it was too far back, so she had plugs put in. And then when they did it, she felt like the line was weird. It wasn't how she envisioned it in her head. I had to go in and do electrolysis and individually remove hairs that she didn't want after she had put the plugs in. I was like, are you sure? I was so stressed out doing it because I'm like, you just spent all this time and money on putting the hair there and now you want me to take it away again? But, people want what they want, and if they're not happy with something, then I'm willing to help them fix whatever problem it is. Even if it's a weird problem, I'm here for it.
Well, I guess weird needs. I guess you're like me. You need to be in such a level of weird for me to consider it weird.
Right.
Weird.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can't. At this point, I feel like you can't really scare me or shock me. I'm down. I do have a weird, I had a client that had bugs
Mhm.
in their skin. They would like burrow inside their skin, and they tried everything to remove them. At this point, they were digging them out. They were researching for years, they were researching all the things, and they were like, well, I read somewhere that if you heat it up enough in that area, it can kill it. And the laser only goes so deep. It's like a measured amount going into the skin. So I was like, hey, you're consenting to it. Let's go. Let's do it. It actually helped. It did kill the bugs. So they could be bug free in their skin. It wasn't like a normal bug. I don't even remember the types. Legit. Almost the weirder the better. If you're laying naked on the table and you say, is my vagina like everyone else's? Like, yep, it is. It is just like everyone else's. Everyone else's is has all the same bits and pieces. They just look a little different. It's beautiful in its own way. I'm here for it all.
So do people struggle with the first time, like getting naked and getting on the table, or even telling you this is what I want, or asking questions?
I would say maybe 10% of the time women are uncomfortable. It definitely relates to their history. I'm really intuitive. So, and part of my gift in this world is healing. It's just being around me energetically is very soothing and healing. I used to say, I suck out the awkward, and I remove all of your concerns and your worries, and I take it away, and I help you be your best self just being around me. And so I can sense when people are in really deep trauma. I actually do some like energy healing work on them as I'm with them. And I just like send them loads and loads of love because I know they're coming from a place of trauma. And generally, that's when the people are self conscious. More people come to me in that capacity, I feel like, because they can sense that they can trust me deeply and that I'm not going to make them feel bad about wanting whatever it is that they want. Most people want what they want, and it's just a matter of them getting through the door and being comfortable with the person that's offering that service and knowing that it can be done in a safe space.
Have you seen her name is Sarah Jolise? She's working on a V project. She's working on an art installation for Nude Night. I think they're gonna have it on Simply, and she's like taking a bunch of V pictures to then create like a mosaic with it.
Yes, I actually was in Nude Night. I've known about Nude Night for a long time. One of my acquaintances that did one of my boudoir shoots actually wanted to shoot me to be in as a photographer for her to be in the art show. I've actually been in the art show of Nude Night. I think it's a beautiful, amazing art experience, and for people to see the vulnerability and see the different bodies and see that beauty can come from all different aspects. And I was actually really surprised. The last one, I just realized I've been saying all the words, and you're like, I'm like, vagina.
Oh no, you're welcome to say it. No, I'm calling her the V project. I
Is
think
that what
that's
she
what
goes
she's
by?
calling it too. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have shared about her thing, calling it the V project, so I could share in different groups. Because
I need to
freaking
see that.
Facebook is so silly.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Last year, I was really surprised they didn't have a lot of men. It was mostly women. And normally it's a good mix. Not that I'm like, I need to see all the DPs. Like, no, but it's nice to have the diversity of both because we're all beautiful in our own states, you know? I think they maybe had two in the whole art show, which I was really surprised because normally it's very diverse and there's a variety of all of the things. Have you been to New Night yet?
I haven't, but I hope to go to this one. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna make like a let's meet there event. I hope that she gets accepted so I can see my
I
book
know
right
that
now.
would be amazing for sure. Yeah, it's awesome. I really love. I actually volunteered for her too, the curator for them. I volunteered for a couple of years and I helped her like do the transactions of selling
Mm,
for her for a couple of years. I did that. Yeah, it's a really great art experience.
that's a cool. Are you going this coming year? I think it's in
Definitely. Yeah,
March.
I go every year. Yeah. I haven't been to the one in Orlando. I've just been to the one here. But they're always different. Even in the same year, they're different themes. So,
Oh, really?
but I haven't made it to the Orlando one. I really need to do that.
That's so cool. I guess we'll meet each other then.
Right? Yeah, it's really great because they have interactive art experiences. Like, I think that I have a picture of me they painted on my face and on my chest. I think it was a word that was my intention for the year because I think they're usually in February. I don't even remember what my word was, but it was really empowering. She like I think she put like a big heart and fire on me. But there's people being body painted everywhere, and there's different artists like actively making their art as you walk around. It's really a great experience.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to coordinate babysitting and stuff.
Yes, definitely.
They should make these events and like have like a babysitters company collaboration or
Yes,
something, so like
yes.
we can drop off the kids
I
guilt
know.
free. Like they're having fun too.
I know, right? It's
But I
true.
guess are you past that already?
Yeah, my son's 14, so thankfully I don't have to worry about that now.
Well, any last words? This has been great.
Right? I'm promoting an empowering and loving space. That's where my intention is. That's what I want to create with all people that I encounter. I don't ever want it to be a different space, but the deeper I am into my healing and the deeper I am into my journey, that's the space that I want to create for everyone that comes into my bubble.
Well, that sounds great. I do really hope to see you around in person. So
Absolutely. I would love to have a deeper conversation with you, not necessarily on video, so we don't have to bleep out things. But yeah, I love the work that you're doing. It's a very powerful, and I would definitely love to chat more about that too. I'm in Largo technically. My clinic
Margaret,
is
okay.
on the border of St. Pete and Clearwater. I'm about 30 minutes from St. Pete. So yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking your time. This was very cool.
you have a great day.
Nice meeting you, Hannah.
Nice meeting you, of course. Bye.